Let's have a shorter intro this time.
And
hello and welcome to a Gypsy Kiss. It's Humpday, Hoedown, and I'm the magical treasure princess and life coach to the rich and famous, Shelley Carney.
And I'm administrative assistant to the magical treasure princess, Toby Younis. As you can see, we have a special guest tonight, and I want to get quickly to that special guest because she doesn't have all night to spend with us. So we're going to cut everything a little bit short. We're going to introduce our special guest, and then we're going to have a conversation with her. And if we're lucky, we'll have enough time to open up the phone lines so that you can ask her some of your questions about Forrest Fenn and his infamous body language. Humpday, indeed, Humpday.
Humpday.
Hey guys, welcome back. So here's how it's going to go tonight. I'm going to do my intros, the same stuff that I always do, and then we're going to go straight to our conversation with Traci. I'm going to have her introduce herself then, but we're going to do all of that before we go anyplace else with our programming. So if we do have time, eventually we'll get to emails, text messages, voicemails. We'll open up the phone lines for Forrest Fenn conversation. I will open up the phone lines while Traci's still with us, but I'm going to ask you in a very polite way if you would limit your questions directly to Traci and ask her the questions she can answer. She's not going to be able to tell you where the treasure is, okay? That's not what this is about. And then later on, we'll open up and you can call me and share your most recent solve, all right? Or I can make another bigger bet with Jack if I have to. So I have to do this, though.
Housekeeping, you want towels?
Of course you want towels because towels are very important, especially if you're trying to cover up your body language.
Aha.
Make sure you like this video. YouTube likes it when you like our video, and Traci likes it when you like our videos. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, and the entirety of your social networks so that we can
grow the channel.
And then finally, if you are not already a subscriber, this would be the perfect time to subscribe. Click on that subscribe button, and then when you see the notifications bell, ring that bell, and that way every time we start a live stream or we schedule a live stream, you'll be immediately informed and
in the know.
Because there's nothing better than being in the know. So as you can see, and as I've already said, we have a special guest with us tonight. Her name is Traci Brown, and you will recognize her as a part of the cast of the video that was produced by Hamish and Andy as they went with our friend Matt Tenzer to Colorado. And Traci was given the opportunity to use her skills on the video that she was shown of the questions that Hamish and Andy submitted and Cynthia asked. And we're going to be looking at that video. But before we do that, I'd like Traci to take a moment and introduce herself, if she'd please.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here with you all. And I'm glad you know Matt, my friend Matt.
Yeah.
The little treasure hunter, quite a character. And anyway, I am a body language expert. I focus on lies, fraud, and identity theft, how to spot those right in front of your eyes. And mostly I work with financial and banking companies to help them decrease that bottom line, or the line item, I should say, at the end of every month that says fraud. So that's my job. And I was lucky enough to be cast just through just a random turn of events to help Hamish and Andy, find the treasure.
Now, this all took place in May of 2019. Is that correct?
It started in.
Oh, maybe you.
I think we shot in July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but the whole thing started in March, I think, with casting and pre-visits, like site visits and things like that. So, pretty long process.
Production process, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, how far? I know what state you live in, and you don't need to give us that information. But how far did you have to travel to get to the search location that they eventually conducted the production in?
Oh, it's about 8 miles from my house.
Oh, really?
It's actually a place that I knew very well because I'm a big outdoors person, and I've hiked there and just really a lot. So I really knew the area quite. Very, very familiar with it.
So before Hamish and Andy proposed this to you, how much did you know about the Forrest Fenn Treasure?
I had I read a thing in Outside Magazine about it, but it took me a minute to kind of connect it. I was like, oh, wait, they're talking about that thing. So I can't say that I was active in the community, but since I started talking to people about it, like, hey, I'm gonna look for this treasure, like a lot of people have looked for it, like a really lot of people. I've had people since then send me map pins and hey, do you think it's here, like this fits the clues and things like that. So it's a much bigger deal than I thought.
How did you end up in the field of body language identification, or how did you end up there? It seems like I know there's no college program for it, is there?
Yeah, no, there's not. I'll tell you the short story.
Okay, that's fair.
I started reading body language years and years and years ago because I used to be a professional bike racer. And I raced with this guy named Lance. You probably heard of him.
Oh, yeah, we have heard of him.
Yeah. And I learned really quickly that cycling at its core is for small people. And I'm a big person, and I couldn't rely on my strength because when you're competing against flyweights, it just doesn't work out that good.
Yeah.
So I had to find some different ways to keep up, and body language and reading body language, like very fine movements of what people were doing, was something that I just started to rely on. I didn't even know I was doing it. And towards the end of my career, I got into hypnosis and neurolinguistics, and I through that I learned a lot of body language. I saw clients for a lot of years. I've worked with guys that helped them win the World Series and the Super Bowl and things like that. And I wanted to speak, and I ended up through a client request speaking on body language one day, and then I couldn't talk anyone out of that topic. And I evolved through that into really focusing on deception. I've trained alongside the FBI and special forces and people I believe couldn't tell me they were in the CIA. And so I just got really good at sniffing out lies. And so I'm interviewed a lot, not only with things like this, but the red carpet and politics and things like that. I do a lot of TV when there's crimes. And so anyway, I got a good track record, and I'm having a lot of fun with, being out a little bit more publicly, other than just like private companies hiring me. I think like working on the news and working on things like this are really exciting for me.
Well, it sounds really not only exciting, but interesting. It sounds like a fun field to be in, and I'm very envious of you being, because it ties in with my background and where I came from. And we did receive a little bit of training in this area, but certainly not enough to, make a living out of it, I guess is the best way to describe it. So here's what, for those of you that are asking, what I've done is Traci and I have been communicating for about a week now. I sent her several videos of Forrest Fenn, starting with a video that was done by Lorraine Mills, the interview that was done with Lorraine Mills on her program in 2011, because I feel like that's the Forrest Fenn baseline. That's who he was early on in this search. And I always describe him in that interview as very vulnerable, very open, and answering the questions very honestly without any sense that there was going to be pullback. And I compared that to the questions that, not the ones that Cynthia asked, because I think there were other problems associated with that, but the ones that Christy asks, because it's a completely different Forrest Fenn that's answering those questions. And so the first thing that I want to do tonight is I'm going to start. I have permission from Cynthia to play her interview. We're going to play that. And Traci, you can either wait until the end and make your commentary, or you can just tell me to stop, and I'll stop it, and you can make commentary at any point along the video.
Okay.
So we can have a discussion after that. But the other thing that I've done is I have timestamped 2 videos. The Lorraine Mills video at the point at which she asks Forrest Fenn, how are you going to know if the treasure is going to be found? And you can see the vulnerable and unguarded Forrest Fenn answer the question very quickly. And then I'm going to play the clip of Christy asking him the same question. And what you're going to see is the guarded and vulnerable, guarded and defensive Forrest Fenn avoid answering that question and actually kind of making up some new material with it. So I want her to see that. She's already seen it because she's looked through these videos already, but I'd like to hear her. We haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance. So this is the first time I'm going to hear Traci's commentary on any of this, although we've communicated for about a week now. Okay. So Traci, I'm going to do a share over to the video. And hang on, that's not going to help me, is it? I have to get to the screen to, so I'm going to close this for just a second. Okay, there. So I'm going to share the screen, and then I'm going to start playing the video. And Traci, anytime you feel like you need me to stop, just raise your hand or say so. I can hear it. And you should be able to hear the video. If you can't hear it, let me know right away. All right? So I'm going to share it. And it's going to flip us around. And you should be able to see kind of the introduction, the Cynthia Meacham introduction. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And I've got the volume set to moderate. So tell me if you need me to stop at any point. All right?
All right.
Here we go, guys. You have to close the left door first.
Okay.
Is that thing rolling?
I think so. Okay, we're rolling.
What does red mean?
It's recording. Okay, so Forrest, you're going to look into this little corner. Can you hear me?
Okay, that one's rolling over there too.
Everything's rolling.
So you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay.
Scroll's still going.
And you're looking
We're
at.
frozen.
Are you looking at my hand?
No,
Okay, good.
up. Okay? I think we have a pretty nice shot here.
Okay, hold on.
You're gonna have to.
Traci, they're telling us that the screen is freezing up on them, and I let's see, what would cause that? Let me see. Just give me a second. I'm going to unshare that, and I think it's because we're going through OBS, but just give me 1 second here. Let's try it again. You're able to see it, is that right, Traci?
Yeah, everything will look great to me.
Okay, so as it gets to, so it's still frozen, huh?
Yeah.
Just give me a second while I make sure that they can see this.
Back again.
Well, they're back again, but it's frozen on us, right?
Unfrozen. You're back for now.
Okay,
We are
so here's what we're trying to figure out, guys. Sorry for it freezing up. What's happening is when we switch over to the video, it's freezing up on us, and that's because I'm using. Maybe if I do this, let me see if I can do it through OBS, and see if that helps. The problem is, you'll be able to hear it but not see it right away. Hang on. Do you have Traci? Do you have a computer onto our channel right now? Are you watching this
No.
on YouTube? All right, let me try something here. And can you see that screenshotted, or you can't see it because you're on? How am I going to do this?
Yeah, it just keeps freezing on them when we try to show the video.
Okay, so all right, so Traci, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link to our YouTube channel. So that you can watch it on YouTube. Whatever I'm doing.
You could just have her watch the video on Cynthia's channel, right?
That's harder.
Okay.
That's going to be harder because then we can't show it to the group. Okay, guys, give me a second to figure this out.
I don't think they need to, the group doesn't need to see it. They've already seen it. Well, she's the only one that needs to see it.
No,
I've seen it. We can talk about it.
Well, I want to kind of play it out. So let me see the best way to do this.
Why don't you just ask her the questions?
I'm not that. Hang on. Let me just. I want us to be all on the same page, right?
Well, she and I are on the same page. You're behind.
I know.
We're like this.
She's like, let's go. And I'm like, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do ultra low.
She's a racer. You know, she's already at the finish line.
Right.
You're just like struggling to get on your bike.
Okay, so I'm going to send this link to you right now.
All right. So while you people are watching us, why don't we just let you know about Fenn.
There's you can't tell them everything yet, but you can tell them what's on that sheet.
I can tell them what's on this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Fenn is coming July 3rd, 4th, and 5th this year at Hyde Memorial State Park, that's in Santa Fe, or just outside the city limits of Santa Fe. And so write that down, put it on your calendar. Fenn, July 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and this is the 10th year, right?
10th year.
10th year for it.
No. 11? Yeah, 10th year.
Yeah, 10th year. So they're celebrating their 10th year. So put that on your calendar and be ready for Fenn this year, July 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
That's me, probably. Okay.
No, that's me. I got it on my phone here. Oh, look, I'm watching us.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
That is fantastic.
No. Can you put a headset in that?
Not easily right now. No.
All right. Okay. So that's going to be a problem because then we have audio.
She doesn't need to hear the words anyway. She's reading his body language.
I don't think that works that way.
A few words. Words can help.
Yeah.
Words are always good.
Yeah. Let's see. So I'm going to try and share it one more time just to see if it locks us up.
She's already seen it.
Yeah, it just locks us up, doesn't it?
So, yeah, let's go back to where we were.
Hang on. Let me see what's happening here.
We're starring again.
Well, it's because it's over here.
Yeah, it's starting to do that.
It locks us up. Well. That's interesting. Why is that not cooperating?
How about we just move forward? Everybody can watch it on Cynthia's channel if they don't know if they haven't already seen it.
Are you watching us on your phone right now?
I am. I got a little freeze going on, it looks
No,
like.
no, that's my fault.
But I can
So-
see the
I'm going to try something else. So I'm going to give you this, and you should be able to see it on your phone. And if you just turn it up a little bit, it should be okay because I can turn you down. All right? So tell me when you can see that Cynthia Meacham screen again. You should be able to see it in a couple of seconds.
I am. I got a little freeze going on, it looks like. Okay, we're a little delayed here.
Yeah,
so.
there is a
Oh,
bit
there
of-
we go. Yep,
Okay.
yep, got it.
So the challenge is going to be I can show it to you, but we're going to hear that audio in the background. So we're just going to have to go with the audio in the background, and you're going to be a few seconds behind, okay?
Yeah, we'll try with whatever. Let's just give it a shot.
All right, let's give it a shot. That's fair. Here we go.
You have to close the left door first.
Okay.
Is that thing rolling?
I think so. Okay, we're rolling.
What does red mean?
It's recording. Okay, so Forrest, you're going to look into this little corner. Can you hear me?
Okay, that one's rolling over there too.
Everything's rolling.
So you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay. And you're looking at. Are you looking at my hand?
No,
Okay, good.
up.
Okay.
Okay? I think we have a pretty nice shot here.
Now you're gonna have to speak loud because I'm not wearing my ears.
Okay, so Forrest, do you want to say hello to Andy?
Hi Andy, I'm Forrest Fenn. I'm here to answer your questions whenever you're ready.
Here we go. Has the location you have chosen for the treasure always had a special meaning to you, or did it become a special place later in life?
Well, Andy, always is a long time. I'll just say that where I hid the treasure is a very special place to me, and I really don't want to elaborate on that.
Okay. Is a four-wheel drive vehicle required to reach the starting location?
Speak louder.
Is a four-wheel drive vehicle needed to reach the starting location?
Is a four-wheel drive needed to get to the location? Well, I don't need a four-wheel drive to get out of my garage, but I really don't want to answer a question like that because it gives too many hints or clues.
Okay. What would you like to happen if the treasure remains unfound?
Well, Andy, I think somebody's going to find the treasure. I don't know when, but if nobody ever finds it, you know, as the decades go on, why eventually somebody's going to find that treasure.
Are you inspired by the community that your treasure hunt has created?
Well, inspired is not the right word. I feel very good, and I'm very pleased with the number of people that have gone into the Rocky Mountains looking for the treasure. That was one of my goals, and I'm very pleased that has happened.
Have you ever been to El Dorado Canyon?
Say it again.
Have you ever been to El Dorado Canyon?
Now, Andy, you know I'm not going to answer a question like that.
Are there any signs of civilization or man-made objects in the area where the chest is hidden?
Well, I don't know what you mean by in the area. I mean, the area could be 100 miles. The place where that treasure chest is hidden is in an isolated area.
Okay. Can the sun shine on the treasures?
Let me think about that. It's in an isolated area. What does isolated mean?
Is that your answer?
Okay, that's good.
Okay. Can the sun shine on the treasure's location for the majority of the day?
Say it again.
Can the sun shine on the treasure's location for the majority of the day?
The location where the treasure is hidden is in the sun a good part of the day, yeah.
Okay. What inspires you to keep the treasure hidden after all these years?
Read it again.
What inspires you to keep the treasure hidden after all these years?
As opposed to going back to get it, is that what he's trying to say? Read me the question again.
What inspires you to keep the treasure hidden after all these years?
Well, when I hid the treasure, I had no intention of going back and getting it. I mean, it's where I left it, and it's going to be there for a long time or until somebody finds it. I hope somebody finds it.
Have you checked on it lately?
I have not checked on it lately, no.
When was the last time you checked on it?
What?
When was the last time you checked on it? This is my question.
The last time I checked on the treasure's location is when I hid it there. I've never been back to that spot.
Is the chest hidden in a very isolated location?
Well, I just answered that.
Exactly, yes. Do you want to expound?
The treasure is hidden where a person would not normally go. I guess you could call that an isolated location, yeah.
Did you hide it in Colorado?
Now, Andy, I know that you're searching in Colorado, and if you think I'm going to put an X on a map, you're wrong. But I will say that it's in Colorado or Wyoming or New Mexico or Montana, one of the four.
That completes their questions. Is there anything you want to add for the people? So this is going to air in Australia. These people are new to your treasure hunt. So think about how you would want to talk to people who are hearing about this for the very first time. Do you have anything that you would like to add for those people?
Well, you know, we've had at least a few people from Australia come to the Rocky Mountains looking for the treasure. I can think of about 4 or 5 just offhand, and I'm glad that the Aussies are interested in the treasure. I think it's a great thing for them to do, and I invite everybody in Australia to come to the United States, go to the Rocky Mountains, and look for the treasure, and I hope they will.
Okay, so let me shut this down real quick, and
You have to close the left door first.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to close the left.
yeah, close the left door first. Okay, we'll close that, and then we'll go back to full screen. All right.
She's still
So,
watching. She's still watching.
oh, that's right.
Oh, I've seen it. That's okay.
All right.
Okay.
So let's start like they do with the big boys with the executive summary before we get into the specific questioning.
Got it. Executive summary. So basically, what we see from him are classic signs of deception through his language. And he's not, here's what's great, is that he's not fooling anyone that he's being deceptive. He's like, hey, I don't want to answer that. So
Yeah.
I think people can use this in their lives when they go, well, what exactly do you mean by remote? I think that was the word he used, or
No, he used
isolated. I think is
isolated.
the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So classic sign of deception there. So he I think the thing that I noticed in here is that, and I said this in the TV show, that it appears that he actually has been to El Dorado Canyon at some point in his life, and because he just nods yes really subtly, as he says he's not going to answer that, right? He thinks about it a little bit and nods yes, and so there was I think the biggest thing that I would have liked. Well, let me back up. He's very consistent, right, with his demeanors generally. Like from the time I've started to watch these videos, like from the one from 2000 and whatever that 11, you sent, like
yeah.
the first one up to now, like he doesn't show erratic behavior. He doesn't show shifts in in his behavior really that would indicate one answer or another, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how we know that, yes, indeed, there is a treasure, and in that he's not saying anything about it, like very, 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 very little he's going to reveal. And we know that just from consistency in his general mannerisms.
So it is very noticeable. First of all, he wants to make sure that he's being filmed above the waist so that it doesn't make him look sloppy. And he managed to keep his arms on the rests, giving him kind of an open upper body. But about the third question, is a four-wheel drive needed? He crosses his legs. And to me, that's an indication of, I need to protect this territory. Did you feel this?
Yeah, well, it could be that, right? But it says there's a shift in behavior or a shift in thought, I should say. And so, when he asks the question, well, I need a four-wheel drive to get out of my driveway sometimes, right? That says, okay, wait a minute. So he's, chances are you do. Okay, that's pretty easy to pick out. And I think one of the, I don't know what he drives or what car was registered to him.
He drives a Jeep Wagoneer. I don't know what it was registered back then. We have no way to know.
So chances are pretty high. I mean, if it's in a remote area, you're not going to drive a Porsche Boxster down that way. So I think we'd be pretty safe to say that you do need a four-wheel drive.
So you went to El Dorado Canyon with Hamish and Andy and Matt. I do know that El Dorado Canyon is a popular hiking area, fishing area. I mean, it's an active area. Could it very well have been that he was in El Dorado Canyon for purposes other than hiding the treasure, but he didn't want to indicate that? Is that possible?
Yeah, I think so. Well, you don't know why he's been there, right? From what we see, we know he's been there, right? Or it could be some other canyon named El Dorado Canyon, right? This is the only one I know about, but could be. And so I'm pretty sure he's been there. From the things that I've seen, like very limited compared to probably most other people on this, I think the treasure's close to his house somewhere. So I don't think it's here. Yeah. I think for TV purposes, when they said that we were going to go there, I was like, really? Because that place is overrun. Yeah. The only person in the show that thought it was actually going to be there, I believe, was Harold, the guy with the divining sticks. Yeah. So, and even in my analysis, the crew told me, they're like, look, don't poop on the party. Yeah. But fortunately I didn't have to, right? Cause it appeared, cause he's consistent. Like he'll just kind of nod his head yes when he means yes on something. And I think it was great that you picked up the four-wheel drive, like where he crossed his legs. Cause I think there's a lot to that. I think you do need a four-wheel to get there.
So you don't know as much about the Fenn treasure as most of the people in the room, but I can tell you that he has said in the book, he says it's hidden in the mountains north of Santa Fe. In 2013, he published a second book called Too Far to Walk. And in the back of that book was a map of the Rocky Mountains from northern New Mexico all the way through Montana. And for a number of years, up until recently, he would say it's hidden in the Rocky Mountains. Right. So if it is hidden in New Mexico, it can be hidden in the Rocky Mountains. Recently, and you saw it in this response here, recently he's changed from saying it was in the Rocky Mountains to very specifically stating it's in one of New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, or Montana. So he's made that clear. But again, the book, the one that was written in 2010, says it's in the mountains north of Santa Fe. And so we operate on that level as well. So I had one more question regarding every time he answers, once his legs were crossed, every time he answers a question, he starts waggling his foot. Is that his head? Because he does it an up and down. Is that his?
Well, the feet aren't related. Okay, so here's the thing. When because you want to look for I mean, here's what's interesting about this. We know he's being deceptive. He
Right.
is telling us for sure that he is
Yeah.
being deceptive. So we don't need to analyze too much about if he's lying or not. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we know he is. Well, not lying. He's holding back, right? And omission is a form of a lie. So the feet, though, don't have a correlation to the head, right? Because
Right.
for American people, this means yes,
Yeah.
and this means no.
Right.
Okay. But the tapping your feet doesn't mean yes or no, right? Because the body can't lie. The body's going to do what it knows how to do to indicate what's going on inside, right? And indicate certain neural patterns that are connecting, right? For positive versus negative. Now, when your feet do that, it means it's generally about anxiety. And anxiety can be connected to deception. It's not always. Okay. So when he says something, when he doesn't want to answer, that can cause anxiety, right? Because the feet are going, all right, we need to run. We need to get out of here.
Yeah.
This is not a safe place. And let's go. And so you get that kind of movement from the feet when anxiety is present, and questions that are very pointed, especially the ones that he wouldn't answer. Like some of the ones that I flattened, the one question, is it buried in Colorado? Right? Because I think that was my question, because I was just, and the other one that I sent in that they didn't answer was, hey, is this buried in El Dorado Springs?
Right.
Right? Because I just wanted to be straight up and see what he would say.
What he would say.
And those are the kind of questions that created the most anxiety there. So is he hiding? Yeah, for sure. If we were able to pepper him with more questions, we might see more anxiety over some questions than others. And so those are the kind of things you want to watch for. Because see, this was really cool, because we did in this video, we did get a pretty full body, unedited version, and you don't always get that, right? So these are some of the things that we can compare with other videos to say, okay, wait a minute, here's like, let's read this guy.
Yeah.
And we have a really good baseline to go off of for other videos at this point.
Right. So I'd like to address some of the anxiety because I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I'm going to show you those two videos that I talked about, the 2011, where he answers the same question, but he answers it differently. And my theory is that the anxiety that he's indicating later in life, and I started seeing it around November of 2017 when he did a book signing. The anxiety, my opinion is that the anxiety is generated from answering a question in a way that would release information that he didn't want to release. So to me, when he says, I can't answer that, it's that he would prefer not to, in fear of letting too much information out. And I think that just comes with age. I think the anxiety, I mean, he's 10 years older now, so the anxieties come with that. So I'm going to play these two video clips for you, and I'm going to play them one right after the other because they're very short. And it's Forrest Fenn answering the same question effectively: how will you know when the treasure's been found? Okay? And then we'll come back and finish up on that.
Okay.
All
Let's see if I can get it here.
Well, if nothing else, you should be able to hear it. All right, so you're behind us now. I keep saying so. All right, you ready?
Sure.
All right. I'm not going to go full screen. I'll just play with this. So this is the Lorene Mills interview, Forrest Fenn, May 13, 2011. And you'll hear the question and you'll hear his answer.
Well, that's what I want to know. How will we know if somebody finds it? Will you make an announcement?
Depends on the person. The person that finds it may not want the IRS to know it,
Oh, that's true.
in which case I'll never know it, probably.
Finders, keepers, yeah.
The kind of person that would go out and find it is the same kind of person that can't keep it quiet.
Yeah.
He's like me, he's got to broadcast it.
Now, does anyone else besides you know where this?
So that the response there was, if he doesn't let me know, meaning the finder doesn't let me know, I'll never know it. Then let's go to that same question asked in November of 2019.
Well, and one thing you do on a pretty consistent basis is confirm whether the treasure is still out there. We won't have that confirmation, it seems.
There are some problems that come with the treasure hunt.
Okay.
No, that's not true. There's a way to know, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
What is the one thing all searchers are missing? You said there's one thing.
I don't. It's important to the story, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
All right. So there is a way, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Sorry. Ugh, been that kind of night. Compared to I'll never know. And the difference between those two, I mean, of course, it's different questioners, different situations, but there's basically a little over 8 years difference in the time frame. And to me, it's my opinion, is it's the vulnerable and open Forrest Fenn has become the guarded and defensive Forrest Fenn.
I'm not going to say no to that, but I'm going to say the thing that I noticed right off is there's a very different level of excitement from the first video to the second. So I think that can impact how you answer and how tightly that you're holding things. And I think that we may have a case of just fatigue going on with his answers. And so because at first he said, I've never checked on it, right? And then we heard something different, like out of this video. In that, there's a way to check on it. And she even said, well, you check on this regularly. I did not get to see his answer because I'm so delayed here that it was just becoming problematic. So I listened. And so I think that I've heard he has somebody checking on it. Like he doesn't go himself to do it.
He does.
So,
that is not valid. No one
that's
knows.
not valid. Okay.
No one knows where it is besides him. And the question she asked him was, she prefaced it by saying, you've been keeping us on this, effectively, I'm paraphrasing, you've been keeping us on the straight and narrow because whenever one of the people who say they found the treasure pops up, he tamps it down by saying, nope, it's still where I left it. And people will ask, how do you know? And he just knows. There's been no evidence. We always ask for evidence. But that's the point that he was trying to make. This time, he smoked it a little bit, right? It was a little bit of, well, yeah, I may know, I may not. The other thing that I thought was his response to the first question was, well, treasure hunts are funny things, or he qualified it as...
I thought that was pretty interesting. And I would actually like to see some of that video of him tamping down people who say that they found it.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of information there, and I think we have enough of watching him to say, okay, wait a minute, maybe he's not telling the truth about that, right?
So you know from experience that there's a range of lying, right? A range of lying goes from the harmless and mischievous,
white lies,
to the fraudulent, to somebody that's trying to cover up a crime. Where is he on that line of storytelling?
I think there's a lot of different kind of lies. So there's maximizations, minimizations, deceptive denials, and there's omissions. And I think he's in the omission category. And so here's the thing about lie detection. It doesn't matter how big the lie is or how small it is or what category it's in. It's going to look the same for each individual. Everybody has their own unique way that they're going to show deception. Like their body's going to show deception in a certain way, because that's the whole basis of this: is the body can't lie, words can lie, the body can't lie.
Wait, let me see if I understand that. So if I'm telling a white lie, my body is going to react the same way as if I'm doing something fraudulent and covering it up. Is that what you just said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Wow.
the premise that I've been trained to work on.
Yeah.
And so, like lies are going to show themselves how they show themselves, and we all have a unique pattern for ourselves. Now, here's the difference. A lot of times, little white lies are shorter, right? So they're harder to spot. Like if I ask you, "Hey, how you doing today?" and you go, "Fine,"
Right.
right, and you've had a horrible day,
Right. You're just being polite.
That's a very short period of time for me to catch the lie, right? But if I ask you about the embezzlement that I think that you may have participated in, right, or the theft, right, out of the company warehouse, that's going to be a longer conversation, and there's more stakes involved, and so those are easier a lot of times to pick out.
Well, this conversation has been very insightful, and we're very grateful for you taking the time. Are you ready to take some calls?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, guys, what I would like you to do is...
we want to hear from Sean Martinez.
Oh, we do?
He's in the room, and he's like,
Sean,
I've been analyzing.
Yeah. Oh, we should have him call in.
Sean is a detective.
A retired detective.
Oh, cool.
And he runs his own agency now. But here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to open up the phone lines in just a sec. If you're going to call in at this time, please have a short question for Traci and then take your answer offline like they do on the radio shows so that we can keep it moving along. All right. I don't want her to validate your theories or your solves or anything like that. If you're going to call, have a short question for Traci. I'm going to thank you, and then I'm going to hang up. By the way,
Laura Dunlap.
Laura Dunlap's in the room. Shelley, let me know if Laura Dunlap's in the room. And Laura, we know that you all just experienced a volcanic eruption in the Philippines, and we wanted to know that you were okay. I guess you being in the room is a sign of that, but maybe you could put a little note in the room as to...
We did have a question in the chat room that I thought was interesting.
Go ahead.
For Traci. If, like Forrest Fenn, you answer a question enough times over the years and you answer it the same way each time in a rehearsed manner, does that negate your ability to catch lies or fraudulence or
the answer to that is yes. And so let's have an example of the presidential debates, right? So before the presidential debates, they sequester themselves for about a month.
Hold on.
And they rehearse the lines that they're going to say. Now, what that does is it doesn't negate all the signs, but it makes them a lot smaller. Right, so they are harder to catch, and but 90% of the time the signs are still there. So, in this case, where Fenn seems to like this means yes for him. This means yes, and so and he's shown that several times, and so I think that's the more pointed questions that we as a community, because now I guess I'm in the community.
Yeah, you are. You're there. You're taking questions.
Can manage to sneak in, right? The better we're going to do at getting the truth of the matter, like through his body language, because he's not going to consciously do it. Like, oh, this is unconscious.
Right.
And I think that's the key. So that was actually a very astute question, and it's actually a pretty advanced question. And awesome. So
we have a lot of people. This is a big community, and we have a lot of people with a lot of interest and expertise. So we've got our first caller. The other thing I want you guys to do is make sure you turn off your computer's audio before you call in. So, hey, Oregon, what's your name and what's your question for Traci?
Hey, everybody, it's 3D Bronze.
Hey, 3D Bronze.
Wanted to see. Yeah, hey, how's it going? First time calling in.
Yeah, it
Excited
is.
to be on the show. Well, I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm not sure if it's possible, but during one of the Lorraine Mills interviews, it's the Forrest Fenn, April 27th, 2013, at 17 minutes and 26 seconds. It's when she asked Forrest if Too Far to Walk, when he mentions the name of his book, if that's one of the clues. And he says, no, it's not. And then he kind of like pauses and says, a matter of fact, yes, it is, or one of the lines in the poem, and he said, yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know if there's any way she could watch that part and give us
Here's
some
what I
feedback.
can.
But if not, I know.
Yeah, we can't now because not because of technical difficulties, but because we want to move on with questions. But here's what I will promise you: I will. Can you remind me again what date that was?
April 27th, 2013.
All right. Here's what I'll do. I will timestamp that and send it to Traci, and maybe I can get an email in return for it. Right.
Yeah, you bet.
So-
I would
Okay,
love
cool.
to do that. Let's run all emails through Toby, and the tighter the timestamp that you have, the easier, because I have another job.
Yeah, no,
and
she's-
so
right.
and so the easier it is for me to just look at it quick and go yes or no. I am totally happy to do that.
Try and do some of this. Okay.
Because I think it's super interesting, and he's quite a character, this Fenn.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, 3D. We'll do it
Perfect.
that way. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a
Great
good evening.
show. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you too.
All right, phone lines are open, 202-815-1171. If you have a question for Traci that she can answer off the top of her head without having to do any reference looks up, I'd appreciate it. Make sure you mention your name. Make sure you turn off your computer's audio before you call so that we don't get any background noise. Do we have any other questions in the room?
Well, let me look.
All right. The
Laura
other thing...
Dunlap does say they are anticipating a bigger eruption unless it decides to just abruptly stop spewing lava.
Oh.
So
Well, it's good to hear she's healthy, though. I
Yeah,
mean, she's okay.
yeah.
Good. Well, we're happy to hear that, Laura. Thank you for letting us know. Hey, Rio Grande Joe, what's your question for Traci?
Where they asked him if that was in Colorado.
Yeah. So what's your question
And he-
for Traci?
Yeah, he mentioned two states, Colorado, Wyoming, and then he jumped back to New Mexico. That shows you he's protecting New Mexico because he knows that this state is where it is.
Hey, brother, do you have a question? We can talk about this later. Do you have a question
okay.
for Traci?
Yeah. Let's see.
If you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at his foot moving like you were, and I thought it might have been something going on. But
Oh, Traci
she
was
said
very
it
clear
was.
about that. She said it doesn't. The foot isn't necessarily tied to the head,
Okay.
but she said make sure you keep an eye on her head. And I don't want to speak on her
Okay.
behalf here, but I think that's what she said.
Yeah, that's what I had for him.
All right.
That'll be it.
Okay, call back later and we can talk about your other stuff.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right, my pleasure.
Bye bye.
So make sure we're trying to use Traci's time in a productive way so that she doesn't get frustrated with us. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't imagine she.
Yeah, I
she
got
would.
a little bit of time
Yeah.
left, and then I gotta
Yeah.
go see my husband this evening. I haven't seen him all day.
Okay, that's fair. So if you do call, if you do take the time to call, make sure your question is for Traci and that it's precise and not necessarily an opinion that is expressed about what we saw here tonight. Okay.
Yeah, and people can I should say I don't have a monopoly by any stretch on this whole body language and deception thing.
Yeah.
People
Hold on, Laura.
can learn it, and there's been some great questions here. I have a book that I wrote on it, and some online training, and you can find both those on my website. It's bodylanguagetrainer.com, and be able to start to interpret some of this yourselves. Like, I'm totally happy to do it, and there's no reason why. Like, if you're serious about treasure hunting and this whole thing, you probably ought to get some training in how to read this guy Fenn. So that's on my website.
He's gotten better at not being in front of the screen. So, for example, when somebody announces that they find the treasure, usually he just sends an email to a couple of his closest promoters, Dale Neitzel or Jenny Kyle or Christie, and he just says, no, the treasure is still. It is rare that we see him get in front of a camera and say the treasure is still where I left it. So I do have Laura. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, great. So, Christy, this is Laura Dunlap. She's calling from the Philippines. She's one of our regular viewers, and she's the one I asked. They recently had a volcanic eruption in the Philippines, and I wanted to make sure she was okay. So, Laura, do you have a question for Traci?
Yeah, I do. Out of when from the video that you saw a while ago, when Forrest was asked if he had been to El Dorado Canyon, he then proceeded to name the 4 states that he wasn't going to put an X on the map.
Right.
Did I notice a slight nod towards Montana? I don't know. I rewatched it. I don't know. Now I'm like looking at every tick and nod and everything. But yeah, that's my question. And then I'll let you guys go.
I think that's a great question. And actually, the truth is, I want to watch that again, and I'm going to need to do it offline because there may be more signs there. Like any time there's like a list or a direct question, there may be signs there. So the truth is, I want to pick that apart a little more. And so what I'll do is, Toby, if you can send me that link again, and just because I imagine people are going to send you all sorts of things and timestamps and things like that.
I will send you the link. In addition to that, we had a transcription done.
Oh, cool.
So
okay,
I'll send you the
any kind of
transcript as well.
timestamps. I think I would like to take another look at that, and there may be things there, and there may not be. He may have repeated that list so many times that he's rubbed out a lot of those signs.
Yeah. The list of states, as I said earlier, is a recent addition to his lexicon. Up until the summer of this year, 2000, or was it? Yeah, up until the summer 2019, he would say the Rocky Mountains. It is only this year, the summer 2019, that he started making a distinction with the 4 states, either New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, or Montana. So Laura, I was looking at this. There's a lot of space between the question, the El Dorado Canyon, and the point at which he mentions the 4 states. So what I'll do, guys, is I will post a link to this transcript that we had done of that particular interview, and I'll post it to the community page, and you can download it from there. Actually, I'll put it in the description box below. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Traci.
Hey, good question.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Thank you. Be safe.
All right. Yep. We're good. Bye.
Bye. So let me see if I can get back to
Sean?
Sean, he's in my other phone. He's not in this phone.
Well, he just called and left a voicemail. So
Let's see.
it's probably
Oh, there he is right there.
505.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Let's call
there
him.
he is.
So Sean Martinez is a former detective, police officer detective, and now he runs his own agency.
Hello, this is Sean.
Hey, Sean, it's Toby and Shelley and Traci. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Long time no talk.
It has been.
Yeah, I bet you've been busy.
I have. Very.
Well,
I
I'm
did have a
interested.
question to pose.
Actually, we'd love to hear it, of course.
Absolutely. Traci, what, if any, one thing or a key indicator would you be looking for in regards to Fenn's demeanor or statements that would lead you to believe that he was being deceptive as to whether the treasure has or has not been found? Is there any one thing or maybe multiple things you would be looking for?
Here's what I would look for is, and it sounds like he only does this via email, and that's sort of problematic for someone like me. And what I would look for is a change in baseline behavior. So we know what he looks like when he means yes. And we know that he's openly being deceptive, right? So we have some good clues as to how he tries to deflect questions and things like that. Like
Yes.
that seems to be his pattern. And so what I would look for is a shift away from that. And
Sure.
I would also actually vocal error rate is a very high indicator of deception. It's actually higher than body language. So when people misspeak or they kind of can't get a word out, like they like in the middle of the word, they'll stop.
Yes.
Those can be indicators of deception. So I would look for things like that in any kind of statement that he would make. And the cool thing about the vocal part. And another thing that might happen is his tone might change. Like it could go higher. Like he doesn't really have a very deep voice. He has a raspy voice.
Yeah.
And so I would look for a shift in that, or even his pacing of how quickly he speaks. Like he may speed up or he may slow way down. Like we don't know, but all those things are a significant, can indicate significant shifts in like away from the truth, right?
What do you think? I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off, but an additional question: how do you think an individual would come across in regards to those cues that you would pick up on, who has been accustomed to telling this same story or these same lines for, say, 30 years? Do you think they would be pretty hard to figure out, or it would still stand out?
Well, that kind of goes back to the last, like someone before asked a real similar question, and that is that when you've been telling the same story over and over and over and over, that's not true. It is easy. You become accustomed to it, and a lot of the signs get rubbed out. Not all of the signs, so they're just harder to find. Smaller. They're much smaller things to look for.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Don't make yourself such a stranger. We miss seeing you in the room.
Absolutely. I was in Santa Fe just last weekend. It was great.
See, you drew, and where did you come from? Tell me where you came from.
Clovis.
Right. And what city
Eastern
did you
New
have to
Mexico.
drive through to get to Santa Fe?
Oh no, I turned off there at Klein's Corners.
Oh, okay.
Toby.
All right. You got away with it there. All right. Well, the next time you find yourself in the Albuquerque, Bernalillo area, let us know so we can get together for lunch or coffee or something. All right. We missed talking to you.
Nice to talk to you. Thanks for
having
having
me.
me.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call.
You want to take a break from the phone and answer some questions from the chat room?
Yeah. Let me turn the Do Not Disturb sign on. Guys, at this point, we're so backed up. If you want us to call you, because I know it's hard to get through, if you want us to call you, send a text message. We're not going to, Traci does have to get to her real life. So we'll answer some questions from the room. Send me a text message if you want me to call you because you have a question for her, and I'll call you back so you don't have to wait the phone. I've got the Do Not Disturb line on now, so it's going to go to voicemail. If you want me to call you, send me a text message. Okay, why don't you take up the questions in the room?
This is from John Werner. He wants to know, if you were to read Forrest Fenn's book, The Thrill of the Chase, would you be able to pick up when he bends the truth within his writing?
I'm going to say with reliability, probably not. What you look for, though, in that is shifts in word patterns. So he may use a certain word throughout to describe something. Okay, I haven't read the book. I just learned there was a book last week from Toby. And so if he starts to use a different word to describe something and uses it briefly, oh, look at that. There's the book.
It's not too thick.
Yeah. So so you want to look for things like that would a different way to describe the same thing that he's been describing along the way.
So I will, the next time I'm in Santa Fe, I'll pick up a copy of the book. It's still the cheapest place to buy it. And I'll send that to you.
Oh,
and
cool.
I think what I'd like to do is maybe trade you for a copy of one of your books. Your book. And what we'll do is we'll have a giveaway. We do giveaways. And so if I can get a copy of your book, I'll give it away to one of our viewers.
I will show you a copy of my book. Let's see
great.
if I can get out of here.
All right.
I know. It's a little tricky in the background. Here it is. How to detect lies, fraud, and identity theft. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see. All right.
Yeah. So.
And you also have a video course on it as well, right?
I do. I have a video course. It is called Fraud Spotting. It is on my website.
That's the bodylanguagetrainer.com?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And it's a super awesome little course. It's very new.
Yeah.
And you'll know a lot about lie detection by the time you're done.
Oh, good. Well, I look forward to the opportunity because this guy is hard to, he's practiced.
Yeah.
One of the things I did want to mention that you said to Sean was that and I just did it. One of the indicators of whether or not someone's being fraudulent with you is the number of times they miss a word. In his case, you saw in this most recent video where he actually had trouble getting words out. And I want you to know that has come with age. He used to be very plain and clear spoken, very few ahs and ums, very few missed words. But as he's gotten older, I mean, he's 90 now. And as he's gotten older, I think it's gotten more and more difficult for him to not only hear, because that comes from being a fighter pilot, but he also has trouble getting out sentences. You know, he has to think about it.
He does, and you know, it's going to get harder and harder for him to hold things in, hold things back.
Right.
Like as he ages, we may get a lot more information out of him than maybe he intended. That kind of thing can occur. Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if it was, and I wouldn't wish this on anyone, but if it was to slip into like a dementia kind of thing, I think, boy, that would be just a field day for people like us. But I would hate to wish that on anyone, because it's not a life anyone wants to have.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to call Shadowcaster back. He has a question for you, and you tell me when you're ready to call this.
Let's do two more questions.
Two more questions.
And then, you know, we can do some stuff on email. Like, I'm happy to take a look at those.
All right, you guys know our email address at
I feel like I need a special name, like Shadowcaster.
Yeah. Well, once you get on YouTube and get that Gmail, you can give it your name, like fenanalyzer@gmail.com.
Ooh, that's what I need.
Well, I have a question from Odin. He's in Ireland, and he says, in any interviews you have seen of Forrest Fenn, have you detected any neuro-linguistic programming manipulation in his answers to deceive as opposed to body language?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I think, you know, NLP is a body of knowledge that's growing all the time, and body language is part of it. And so I would not say that I've NLP'd him, because it's really not the segment of NLP that works. I would say that he shows very consistent signs of deception, but he also tells us he's deceiving us. So it's just, he's covering it up. It's not necessarily a lie, so to speak, right? A lie by omission at most.
Right.
So, yeah, and I know Irish people love NLP. Love it.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's interesting. The comment that you made is that he's very he knows he's deceiving us, and he's okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? We are too, like, really, because it's part of the game, right? And he's playing it masterfully.
That's a really interesting way to put it, because you're right. He's playing a game. We're playing an opposing game, and we each have our own set of rules. You know. It's pretty interesting
for sure.
All right, let me call Shadowcaster back and get his question from him.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that, or while you're calling him, I have if people really want to dive in and learn about deception, I have a newsletter that people can subscribe to every month. I do some kind of video review or something on deception, and you can find that on my website as well, Body Language Trainer, and that's totally free.
Okay. All right. I'll make sure that we'll put this link in the description box below, guys, so that if you want to go visit Traci's website, you can do that as well. Hey, Shadowcaster, I don't know your real name. What's your real name? Do you care to share?
Oh, no, I would prefer not to.
Okay,
right
Shadowcaster, you said you had a question for Traci. What's your question?
Sure. Well, I guess my question is, and my kind of observance is I've never seen the frustration from Fenn when he went into the isolated, when he seemed kind of confused and kind of withdrawn, and I've never seen that. Now I do realize that most of his interviews aren't shown in full and are uncut like this. But I've never seen that frustration from him before, and I'm just kind of wondering what her take is on that.
Okay. Well, why don't you take these your answer offline? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Bye.
So what that's saying, okay, so here's how that happened. So you could call it frustration. I did not see anger in him. What I saw was this happening, is that our mind works at about 1,250 words a minute, or sorry, 1,250 words a minute, and we speak at about 150 words a minute. So what's happened is that he's gone through 4 or 5 scenarios in his mind as he's trying to talk, and that causes like a little bit of the stuttering, a little more of the wait, well, let me think about that a little more, like those kinds of things. So there's a lot going on in his mind that's not making it out his mouth, and that's why we saw some of that. So that was my idea on those.
Does that process get less refined as we age? I mean, it strikes me as the kind of thing that you could do very well at age 35, but when you're 90, it's even more of a struggle.
Well, for everything that I've talked about now has been like scienced up and verified, like with the FBI and stuff. If I was to give an opinion on that, I'd say, and I don't have facts behind it. I'm sure they're out there. I don't have them. Our minds work slower as we age. Yeah. I think it's understood. However, I don't have the numbers. I don't have the science on that. So could it be an age-related subset of that problem? Absolutely. But I can't give a concrete answer.
All right. So I'm going to take one more call. I'm going to call one more person because they've asked.
One more bonus call.
One more bonus call. And then I have a real quick question for you, and then you can take off, all right?
Two more questions.
Two more. All right.
Joel says, my mind is 10 words a minute, and my mouth is 150.
Well, I have that problem sometimes.
Isn't it funny how we all get quiet to listen to that?
Let's listen. Is he going to pick up?
We got demonetized once for that ring
for the
because
ringtone.
There's a. Hello. Hi. You're talking to Shelley, Traci, and Toby. You said you had a question for Traci.
Oh yeah, this is a compilation question of what I've been seeing tonight. The Fenn interviews.
All right, we'll try to keep it short because she doesn't have a lot of time. She want to be able to answer your question. Go ahead.
I'd like to ask if she could pretend for a moment she's a new searcher, and she had just watched the show, and she had heard Fenn say that we and he may never know if the treasure was found, and then he jumps to unless the person wants to say something,
right?
And that you thought that it's possible that they're that kind of person,
right?
Which is the biggest. And then he jumps to, well, in the next interview, well, how do you know if the treasure has been found? He says, well, I will know, but I want to discuss that,
right?
Which is a complete opposite. And then the other thing that's added is, have you checked on the treasure recently? And he said, no, not since I hid it.
Right.
So now here we have 3 very important facts.
Right.
Is treasure could have been found, and the person never spoke about it. He used the word never. And then he said he has a way of checking on it, and yet he hasn't checked on it since he hid it. So it's obviously some easy way to check on it unless he goes back to it, which he never has.
Yeah, so I would like to just qualify one of those things. He's never said that he had a way to check on it other than going back to visit the location.
Right.
And he said he hasn't done that. So those two things tell us he hasn't checked on the treasure.
Right. So as a new searcher, what are the odds it's still there? Is it it looks like 50-50. Is it still there?
Or is that your question for Traci?
Yes. Does she agree with that?
All right.
Well, here's what
I'm going to let you take this offline, okay?
As far as I can tell, those were years apart, like that we saw. I mean, Toby, you can quantify that. So
yeah, it's
I would take the most
years.
recent answer to that because we know that he's slowly giving just teeny bits more information, right? Just a little bit. And so I would take the most recent on that. And like I said before, I'd really like to see a video of him talking about how it wasn't found. And I think we'd know really a lot if we could get something like that.
So let me get you to answer the question you asked. Let's hypothesize you're a new searcher based on what you know right now. Is the treasure still out there?
I'd say yeah.
Okay. And then the last question I have for you is, and I was listening to him and I forgot the question. Is there... do you see, in what you've seen thus far, especially these most recent interviews, do you see a man who would like to have this treasure found before he dies? Because he has said it's okay if it lasts to him in the past. He said, I don't care if it lasts 100 years or 1,000 years, right? But I've noticed a difference between where he was back in 2010 and where he is now. And I wondered, do you see a man that would like to have that treasure found before he passes, or really doesn't care one way or the other?
I would need to look at that with a little closer eye, because like I said, I've watched several videos. I'd like to have like a fresh look at it.
Yeah.
But I was not, upon my initial view of it, I was not struck by someone who was going either way on that. I think I really do believe that he's in this thing for the thrill of the chase and to get people out. So if we can table that question, I will look at that again. If you can send me that timestamp.
Yeah.
And just see what might be there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because not that you're an active searcher, but you know enough about it. This is the point. What you know right now is the point at which people go out and buy the book and start doing research online, et cetera, because it piques their curiosity. So I think getting your perspective on this would be interesting, not only because of your expertise, but because you have that kind of the bubble of an interest that will eventually grow, and if you feel like it's something that you want to go in the outdoors.
Going out searching, I'm getting my 4-wheel drive and I'm going.
She's already been boots on the ground once.
That's true. All right, Traci, thank you very much for spending your evening with us. We truly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I hope I helped and given a little bit of information, and I know you'll send me some more, and I'll be able to look a little bit more tightly on that, and yeah, I mean, if I can help people, man, that would be so cool.
Well, I will get
somebody pop up with a box full of rubies and coins.
Yeah, I will get a copy of the book for you, so you have at least that. It's in probably, I think it's 10th or 11th printing now.
Oh, boy.
I'll get you a copy of that, and then I will get a copy of your book
and
use it to give away. We do, like I said, we do giveaways to our.
I think we should read
viewers.
it before we give it away.
Yeah, no. Read that, baby.
I'll send you 2. You can keep one and give one away.
That'll be fun. That'd be great. All right. Thanks for joining us tonight. You're going to have to stop it on your side, because if I stop it here, we're going to lose them. Okay.
Yeah.
Again,
right,
thanks, Traci. I look forward to talking with you again.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll talk to y'all soon.
Okie doke. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so let me go back to OBS and fix our screen here. Hang on just a second. I've got to fix this, guys. So
let's see how we're looking here.
We're not. So you're going to see behind the scenes OBS right here. Right. Okay.
BTS time.
Okay, so I've got the phone lines closed right now because I want to take care of some business. And then let's just say, so did you update everybody on Fenbury?
Well, I told them when it is. That's it, and where.
Okay.
And that's all I told
So we
them.
don't have a lot of detail. We're getting details a little bit at a time. The person that's responsible, and we haven't mentioned her name, is that right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So the person that's responsible is doing a great job of handling it, and we do have some dates and locations that Shelley shared with you. I would recommend for that weekend, if you're going to make reservations, make them early. Whether
and the person is looking for prizes, so if you have a company that you would like to give a prize to some, to Fenbury, let us know. You could just email us if you would like to give a prize, or if you know of a company that would like to give prizes of any kind for Fenbury. She's starting to round those up as well. So yeah, make sure you have marked on your calendar July 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the Hyde Memorial State Park in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
So let's do our giveaway for the night. Alan K., congratulations on your win over the World Sand Project. And as usual, just send your shipping address to worldsandproject@gmail.com, and I'll get that out to you this weekend. Alan K. won the prize from there.
That's
so
right.
let's go to here, and I'll get the video. So you have about 60 seconds to go back to last Wednesday's video and make a comment to qualify for this, okay? So 60 seconds, and that would be let me see. What date was that? What's today? The 15th? That would have been
According to that, it's the 8th. So I'm guessing it was the 6th. Because that was probably from Friday, or was that from last Wednesday?
That's from last Wednesday.
Then
That's
it was the 8th.
Okay. So go back to the video.
We just got a super chat.
Oh, hit it.
From Odin. Thank you, Odin. We got 20 euros from Odin.
Let's see.
Appreciate that.
And euros are...
euros are worth more than dollars.
Euros
so
are worth...
awesome.
Okay, so it's Forrest Fenn Update Hoedown, January 8th, 2020. 2020. Go back there right now if you haven't already made a comment. Go back and make a comment because we're about to do the giveaway, okay? All right, so let me do a screenshot so you guys can see this.
Oh.
So, what?
Corey Jacobs is telling everybody the information about the show, what it was called. And,
Oh, okay.
And right there.
Share and save.
You
So
just copied and
here it
pasted.
is. You got about 30 seconds to go make a comment because it's a random comment picker.
I'm wearing an orange shirt that day.
Yeah. So this is the URL for that video. We're going to go from here to... Could you hold that for a second? You can show them what's going to win. Yeah.
I'll just hold it.
Oops. Yips.
It would be awesome if Tony Henman won this, because
considering,
his fly that he sent us.
Is he in the room?
I do not know. I didn't see him.
All right. So we're at commentpicker.com. We're going to use the YouTube random comment picker. We're going to slot that URL in there, and we'll find out how many comments. Okay, here it goes. This is where it counts. If you're not there, you're not there.
We didn't do the giveaway video.
Oh, okay. Giveaway video. We're going to do the giveaway video first.
Because butt drums.
Yeah, because... Okay, back to screenshot.
Odin said, I tried the PayPal link, but there is a problem with PayPal at the moment, it seems. I won't say that part. He doesn't like YouTube and their unfair cut.
Yeah, we don't either, but hey.
Great guest in Traci, so thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll see her again.
We appreciate it.
Okay, so we're going to count the number of comments on that channel right now. Let's see how many. Oops, did you enter the right URL? Yeah. Oh, I left the EG in there. Sorry. Okay.
Try that again.
Yeah. Oops, this video has comments disabled? What the?
No.
That's crazy. We don't disable.
It's crazy talk.
Crazy
talk, I tell you.
If we had comments disabled.
Did you do the YouTube thingy?
We have 87 likes, dislikes, and 110 comments. What the hell?
Hey.
What?
What's your hells?
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's try this again.
Try this again.
Go back to commentpicker.com.
Make sure you choose YouTube.
YouTube, random comment picker. Count those babies. So
did you put the
I'm doing it right now. And hi. Okay.
Again.
Get YouTube comments. Unique
There
commenters 64.
64 people
nice
have a chance to get this picture.
All right, so let's go to full screen so you remember what you're doing. Have I done can I do the giveaway video? Oh, we've already done that.
After you win it,
okay.
they get to play the winner
So this
video.
is what you're getting. You're getting a original photograph of one of Tony Henman's streamers that he sent me. It's a 4x6 dye sublimation print in a 6x8 frame, wooden frame, glass covered. The streamer name is here, and my signature is down there. One of a kind. Not another photographic image of this streamer will be given away. Could you hold that, Vanna?
And the winner is...
Here we go. Let's see who it is.
Get ready to play the winner video after.
Would it be funny with Alan K again?
It would be his day.
Moni
618.
Wow, that's
MONI 6, the number 6, ONE, the number 8.
8.
Moni
So
618.
Moni 618. Here's the rules, because we always have rules. If you would like to receive this nice giveaway, send your shipping address to gypsykiss@gmail.com, and I will ship it. The sooner I get it, the sooner I'll ship it. If I don't hear from you next Wednesday, by next Wednesday, by the start of the show next Wednesday, we'll give it away again. Okay? So Moni, it's up to you, my brother or sister. So here's next week's giveaway. We're gonna change up on you.
Oh, you didn't play the video.
Winner.
The winner video.
Okay. Wait.
You win.
Win. You want to win. You win. Swear you do that just to get the butt drums in there.
I love it.
Okay, so before I show you the giveaway for AGK, I want you to know this is the giveaway for World Sand Project. Go to today's World Sand Project, make a comment. This is sand. Those are sand grains from Mungo Beach, New South Wales, Australia. This is from the sample from our friend that we received from our friend Michael Hoole. So it's a beautiful sample, very, very colorful. But to win that one, you have to go make a comment on today's episode of World Sand Project. For next week, I thought we'd do something a little different. I don't know if you guys will like this or not. But I have a print of a drone shot. Oh, you can't see the green. Wait, let me see if I can do that. So the green trees are being chroma keyed out. But I have a print of a drone shot of us crossing the Rio de los Pinos.
Oh, well, I'm just about out, man. Don't say it again.
Nice drone shot of us crossing, one-of-a-kind shot, no other print, 4x6 dye sublimation in a 6x8 frame, wooden frame with a mat. And this will be the only print that's ever made of that photograph and distributed. So you have one of a kind. Okay? So us crossing that river.
That was our fun giveaway for
say all the time. Yay, fun giveaway.
Humpday giveaway.
All right, so I'm going to hold, I'll take a look at text messages while we're getting calls, but I think I'm going to hold emails till Friday, and then we'll just open up the phone lines. Well, we only got 25 minutes, so let's just do, there's nothing of any, there is that ArcGIS thing. I'll do that on Friday. We'll have more time on Friday. Let's just go to phone calls. Okay. Let's go to phone calls.
Okay.
All right. So.
There's one from Tony Henman.
What does it say?
He just says, "Great show, you guys are awesome." Let's start with saying I loved the pay it forward.
We'll show our treasure chest. We'll show our not today. Let's save that for Friday.
Okay.
And then we'll read that email.
Okay.
Because we're building a treasure chest.
With Colorado.
With Colorado, and we're putting in cash and door prizes.
Jack wants to give us $100 or $500. I choose $500.
We'll take the 500.
Please give us $500. Thank you.
ES, don't delete that message unless it's here. Wait a minute. Let's see what he said. Was it bad? I don't want to take your big money, buddy. Oh, Jack, you are all fire and no brimstone. We're past trusting anything that you have to say. And yeah, we are.
Yeah, why? We're restreaming to Twitch, supposedly. I don't know.
We're out there.
Have you ever checked to make sure it worked?
Yes, I go check on it after every show.
Oh, okay.
So
and we are restreaming to Twitch.
We're going to Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube simultaneously. So Facebook, if you want to ask us a question, I can actually see those questions right now. So Jack.
And Twitch too, right?
And Twitch.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, we need to play this.
Why does their screen look weird?
Because we're
frozen.
Oh man, did we freeze? Oh, wait a minute. Why is that over there?
I don't know what you did.
Oh, I know what I did. Okay, I did this. I shrunk it. Oh man. Okay, hold on.
What did you do?
Where is Zoom? Okay, so ignore this because we haven't zoomed in so long. I've kind of lost the knack of zooming, of zoomerating. Okay, now I got to get my...
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you for deleting that comment. Yes, you did the right thing.
If you could go back in time to a place where you felt proud to make someone feel contentment, would you? What is the story? Wow. That sounds more like a softer side kind of a story.
It does. We need to have that conversation over on the softer
and
side.
if you haven't watched the softer side... Well, that was quick.
Okay, so phone lines are open and Rio Grande Joe is on. If it goes to voicemail and you want me to call you, send me a text message and I'll call you right after. Hey, Rio Grande Joe, what's your comment? We're going to keep things short tonight because we don't have a lot of time. Go ahead. Knock me out with your comment.
Okay, when he's saying, when they asked him if it was in Colorado, and he said, I can't answer that. It's either in Colorado, Wyoming, and then he jumped back to New Mexico.
Hang on a second. I've got the script here. I mean the transcription. So,
and that shows you that he's hiding New Mexico for a reason.
All right. Here's his exact words. The question was, did you hide it in Colorado? He responds now, Andy, I know that you're searching in Colorado, and if you think I'm going to put an X on a map, you're wrong. But I will say that it's in Colorado or Wyoming or New Mexico or Montana. One of those four.
Right. He jumped back to New Mexico after two of them.
Colorado and Wyoming?
Yeah, and then he jumped back to New Mexico.
What does
and
that...
I'm thinking he's protecting it because this is where it's at, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. So that's the point I wanted to get to. So you think the treasure is in New Mexico, and because of the way he jumped back to it.
Yeah, and like you say, he's a 369 man.
Twitch.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And like you said, he's a 369 man. So
yeah, I have that coin. I have the 369 coin.
So that's why I'm going to that.
All
and
right.
Also, I was asking how would he know if it was found? Well, it's in the poem.
No, I disagree with you wholeheartedly. There is no. I'm going to go back to that answer that he gave Lorene Mills early on in this process. He will not know if it is found unless the finder announces and provides evidence that it has been found. He's like the rest of us. And he had to consider the possibility that sooner or later he was going to pass away. And then what difference does it make? But my only fear is that when he passes away, we're going to get three people a week telling us that they found the Forrest Fenn treasure. And now we don't have any way to validate it other than them providing evidence.
But he said it before that he would know if it was found.
He, you know what?
In other places, not on that one.
And he started saying kind of that, the bracelet. Remember the bracelet thing?
Yeah, I remember that.
In the Moby Dickens video?
Right.
That's the first time.
About.
That's the first time since 2011 that he gave any indication that there was a way to find out. And again, that's dependent upon the finder. It's always dependent upon the finder. If the finder decides he doesn't want to return a bracelet, he doesn't have to.
And I think it's in the poem. I'll tell you where it's at. It's in Terry Scant.
You'll tell me where you think it's at.
Where I think it is, yes.
All right, tell me where you think it's at.
Where he says, but Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze, Terry Scant, you got to get on out of there
That's correct.
fast
Yeah.
because you're being marveled with a gaze, and it's not from somebody's eye. It's from a mechanical eye, from a camera, and that's why he'll know it's been found.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to counter. I'm not going to say that I don't believe you. I'm not going to argue that's your opinion, right? We agree
Yeah,
that
it's
it's
just
your
an opinion.
That's all
Yeah.
we have is opinions.
Yeah, why would he want you to hurry up and get out of there and then write with Marvel Gaze, because you are being watched?
Yeah. Well, so as you know, in the recent Voice of America video, he corrected the woman who was doing the interview by saying, no, Terry Scant means you have the treasure, get the heck out of there.
Right.
Right? So why would he say that about Terry Scant and not include Marvel Gaze, right? Why would Terry Scant mean one thing and then Marvel Gaze have the magic of a camera nearby that's somehow connected to an internet link?
Well, he throws that in right after if you found the blaze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you think there's a...
Yeah, if you found the blaze and you're getting the chest, you got to Terry Scant on out of there because you're being Marvel Gazed. Yeah, that's my thinking.
All right, we are all entitled to our opinions. We're all entitled to our own opinions. We are not entitled to our own facts.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's just my facts.
That's let's keep talking, brother. All right. You have a good evening. What'd you think of Traci?
Right. Oh, I like her.
She's pretty neat, isn't she?
She's good. Yeah, she's great.
An ex-bice racer.
That's the reason
used to race with the Lance Master.
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty courageous.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Huh?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
You have a good evening.
Thank you, Toby. Y'all have a good night.
So I'm holding the messages because I wanted to say hi to one of our Twitch patrons, TrendKill82, which sounds pretty twitchy.
I think it's Odin.
And
that's his
Sean
Twitch
O'Grady
name.
on Facebook. That sounds like another Irish. Do you think it's Odin?
Maybe it's him too.
Just Odin going from... Sean O'Grady says Hubbardston. I don't know what that means. So there were some good nights there. Gadelcon's in the room. Hey, Gadelcon, the newest member of our...
Member Vault.
Member Vault.
Yeah.
Hey, you reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name and what's your question about the Forrest Fenn Treasure hunt? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. I didn't do that.
Do you think the home of Brown and the blaze could be the same thing, says Violet Mercury.
Wait, say that again.
Do you think the home of Brown and the blaze could be the same thing? I do not.
Nor do I. I
He
think
says that marry the clues to a map, and the clues are contiguous, and one comes right after the other. So home of Brown would come before the blaze.
Right. They're continuous and contiguous, meaning they're in order. And go back, as a matter of fact, he answers that question very precisely in that Laureen Mills interview that we referred to earlier. 9 clues, continuous, contiguous. The first is begin where warm water salt, and the last is
look quickly down.
Look quickly down your quest to cease. So.
And Laura brought this up. That Forrest Fenn said the treasure is hidden where a person would not normally go. She said that she was kind of stuck on that one.
Mm-hmm.
That stuck out for her. What stuck out for me was the whole. I don't need a 4-wheel drive to leave my garage.
Yeah, that didn't. To me, it didn't make any sense. That didn't even come close to responding to the question.
I don't need a 4-wheel drive to get out of my garage.
Meaning, if I can get out of my garage to go look for the treasure. If I don't need a 4-wheel drive to get out of my garage.
In other words, don't wait till you have a 4-wheel drive to get going.
Exactly.
Get going.
And don't expect that once you get there, you're going to require a 4-wheel drive to solve this problem.
Yeah, that's what I got. Now,
Yeah.
Traci said kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
She said that what she read was that you do need one.
Well, so he didn't say I don't. He has a 4-wheel drive vehicle. He has a Jeep Wagoneer. That's what he drives.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is, the first step is getting out of your garage. Remember the other interview?
Right.
He said,
get in the car.
Get in
It's
the car and
first
drive
step.
off, right? So when you compare that to what he said tonight, which is, and I don't need a 4-wheel drive car to get out of my garage, therefore I shouldn't need. Okay, Windsor, this is the second time. Let's see if you've got something to say. Hey, Windsor, Ontario, area code 226, which is funny. You've reached Toby and Shelley. What's your question? What's your name and what's your question?
Hey, Toby. Hi, Shelley. First-time caller and long-time watcher.
Well, thanks. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
A couple of things I just wanted to throw out there. In one of the earlier interviews, I think it was Collective Works, where Mr. Fenn talked about the male and female searcher who pretty well stumbled over it, but never went back out there again because they never found it.
Right.
And then there was the clip that K-Pro did, where Preston actually says that he was out there with, I think it was Miss Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the first time that Preston has ever said that he actually went out there and went looking?
No, I think there was a couple of other times where he said it, but he's been very surreptitious about where he's been and what he's done. You don't get the sense that Preston is an active searcher. Preston is a part of the conspiracy, I guess is the best way to describe it. A lot of what he does is to help promote the idea of the search with Fenn's permission. I've seen it at least 4 cases now, including 2 times at Collected Works, once in the which was it? There was a recent video where he did the same thing, and then once in the Christy and Mike interview recently, where he made the comment about the what you just heard there had a very important clue or hint or something like that. And Forrest looks at him and he gives him the nod, and then he says, "Thank you," just, and he says in a sarcastic way, if I was doing body language analysis on that particular scene, I would see 2 mischief makers, 2 coyote tricksters playing a game. And that seems to be Preston's role in it. He doesn't need the money. Now, the guy is a multimillionaire based on the sale of his books. He's well known. He doesn't have to look for the treasure, but that doesn't mean he can't have fun with it. And I think that's what he does. I think he has fun with it.
And actually, you covered my second question.
Yeah, what's that?
And that was with regards to the K-Pro interview where Preston says about the clue that you heard it here first type of thing, that he's never heard it before.
Yeah.
And I mean, I looked at Fenn and I saw him kind of hunch back in the chair.
Yeah.
Took a breath, and you could see all of a sudden he got agitated, and it was almost kind of like a lot of stuff, and hopefully you just don't spill, taco de turn type of thing.
You know what? I have seen that happen 3 different times, and Fenn's response is always the same. It's to turn to him, make it look like he's surprised at hearing whatever Preston said surprised him, and then he kind of turns back and lets it go. It's an act. I mean, we should have Traci. I'll have Traci. We're going to maintain a long and healthy conversation with Traci from this point forward, and I'll have Traci look at it. But if you look at those very carefully, it is, and you may have heard from Cynthia that he and Preston had actually met a couple of days before that interview, so they had plenty of time. And I've seen it more than once, where Preston, the Denver Museum comment, the Northern Arizona University comment, those were all in situations where Fenn could look at him like he was going, "I don't believe you just said." The look is, "I can't believe you just said that," and then he turns back like, "But that's what we planned, so okay."
Okay.
That's my take on it. I just don't get a sense that Preston is a great. As you can tell by the success he has with his books, he's a great marketeer. And I think every chance that Forrest gives him to help him market his book or market the treasure hunt, I think he does that.
Or push narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, again, thank you very much for taking my call. Toby, again, thanks for your service. Shelley did a great job as well, keeping him in line.
That's right.
That's her service.
That's right.
She gets so. Thanks for calling in. We love hearing from our Canadian neighbors and friends.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, I think we have time for one more short call. We talked to Laura already, so it was nice hearing from her. I'm glad she's okay. But they do have, the indication is they have some more. Who are you going after? What now?
The usual. Just more of it, more of it, more of it.
Start that. Oops, I don't know what I did there.
Anyway, so somebody was
button.
asking about him talking about going back and looking for or checking on the treasure. And so let's go over that real quick.
Wait,
again.
which one is it?
Well, when I hid the treasure, I had no intention of going back and getting it. I mean, it's where I left it, and then it's going to be there for a long time or until somebody finds it. I hope somebody finds it. Have you checked on that lately? I have not checked on it lately, no. When was the last time you checked on it? The last time I checked on the treasure's location was when I hid it there. I've never been back to that spot.
Which makes perfect
I
sense.
thought it was very straightforward.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any, trickiness in the answer.
Are we on the phone?
No, it was a no caller ID.
Oh.
So guys, if I don't see the caller ID, I don't respond. I'll just hang up on you. So this is
Maybe it's
Rollins. Hey, you reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question? If you have one.
This is Homer Brown.
Oh, Homer Brown. How are you doing, brother?
Louisiana.
Yeah.
How are y'all doing?
Very good. Good accent. Your accent is better than mine, man.
Yeah, I've been enjoying watching the show tonight and all, and just gonna throw a few things at you. I don't feel like Mr. Forrest is having nearly as much fun with the treasure hunts what he initially was. He does seem more tense in his body language and to me,
I think I would agree with you on that. I think over time it's worn him down just a little bit, and I think he does. When Cynthia, who is his friend, I never see Cynthia as intentionally harmful. She just does favors for people. She's a very loving person. She cares very much about him. And I don't think she tries to put any pressure. But I think what I see in these most recent interviews is kind of a tiredness, this. Why can't we be over with this part? How many more questions do I have to answer? I see more than not. Somebody asked if I felt like I saw. What's the word that they used? And not anger. It's not quite anger, but it is more like frustration,
Frustration.
Yeah, like, can we be over with this? Do I have to answer these questions? And it's funny because every year, he says something like, you know what, I'm not going to be doing any more interviews, and I don't want people coming into my house. And I think he's at that stage where he can just say, look, how many more questions can I answer about this? Because I think what happens is there's two things. Number one, Traci's analysis was really good. He's not over here. If you look at the range that we saw tonight from mischievous to fraudulent, he's not on the fraudulent line of that, right? He's mischievous. And in addition to that, he's got to protect this story. He's got to protect that poem. He's got to make sure that nothing leaks out in any way that gives any particular person an advantage. So what he's doing now is protecting the poem, and I think what he's realized as he gets older, it's harder just because as you get older you don't have the same way with words. I don't. At 70, I don't.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
My mother was actually born in 1930 as well.
Yeah.
And she's 88 now, and she slowed down a lot. And
yeah.
So if she had to walk 200 feet to somewhere, and do anything strenuous,
yeah,
I don't think she would make it.
Right.
She wouldn't make it.
Yeah. So and that's kind of where we're at. His job. He's a an offensive lineman, and his quarterback is the poem. He's got to do everything he can to protect that poem.
And because of that, I'm going to say that the treasure is in New Mexico, and it's not going to be far from where he's at, because if he's planning on, taking this drawing his last breath and being at that special place or whatever, it's got to be somewhere that he can get to.
Right.
And that was I can elaborate on that, because I had an uncle that he was a World War II veteran, and he lived to be a pretty good age. He was around 81, 82 and all, and he was at home all the way to the very bitter end, and they found him in the living room floor. He had his wallet out. He had every card in his wallet out, and was digging through them on the living room floor. And he kept on telling them, he said, "I got to go there. I got to go there."
Yeah.
So, he had something in mind, but he couldn't quite,
get it out. Right. Get it done.
Get it there.
Right.
Maybe that's just like Eric crossing the street, Did he finally get his real final wishes that he thought that he was going to do at the bitter end, or did he, or did something else happen before he could, make it happen that way?
Yeah.
I had thought about that, but.
Well, you know what? Do me a favor. Call back on Friday when we have a little bit more time to talk about it. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on that matter. So you have the number now. And
sure.
Give me a call on Friday, and we'll talk about it.
All righty. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, Homer. Thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
You're going to close it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, you want to make a note over here? Is that for me?
Yeah.
You have to hang on. I have to go potty. I just can't. I'm about to.
Okay, then.
I'll be right back.
So while we're waiting for Toby, let's just play a little video. So if you're a brand new searcher, what's the first thing you want to do is read the book. So we're going to read the book. And then we're going to also, at the same time, match it up to the poem. So what did this chapter say to you about what do you see in the poem? How do they fit together? So we're going to work the poem and the book together. Now you can join at any time. It's going to be an open door membership. In the bonus section on the Member Vault, we have added 2 videos that Toby produced.
Is he saying there is stuff in life that isn't worthy of spending time knowing, or that the real test of your intelligence is knowing the stuff that everybody else thinks is not worthy of knowing?
When he talks about no special knowledge is needed to find the treasure, but maybe you need to know those things not worthy of knowing in order to find the treasure. So everybody, that's our AGK VIP membership vault. And if you're interested in joining, just go to gypsykiss.com and check it out. We had a great conversation in there last night, which actually prompted Toby to put up a video late last night, for those of you who saw that, talking about the waterfalls in Vietnam. So check that out if you haven't already. And just an FYI, Friday is the 17th of January, which means it's going to be Toby's birthday. So I hope that you'll all be here and bring him some birthday greetings and friendly wishes on Friday for his birthday. Again, if you have not yet seen The Softer Side, I am doing a New Year challenge every morning live at 9 o'clock in the morning. Through Saturday and then Sunday night, we're going to do a webinar for those who are taking part in the challenge. And of course, we have our 4 o'clock in the afternoon, The Softer Side. And today we talked about focus, bringing your focus in to make sure you get your most important goal accomplished. And on Friday on The Softer Side, we will be interviewing 2 of my favorite business coaches. They're my business coaches, and they're going to be talking about how to create a thriving thought leader business. So if you're excited about that sort of thing, please do be there.
I almost peed in my pants.
Nobody
All
needs
right,
to know.
sorry.
It's TMI.
That's all right. So I got a bunch of stuff to show you on Friday, and we have a bunch of emails to read, a bunch of text messages to read. We'll do that on Friday. We're celebrating a birthday.
That's right.
I will be 71.
Yeah.
Which explains why I can't wait 2 hours between visits.
And you didn't go before the show because we had to get in here early to talk to Traci.
To talk to Traci. So yeah, we're not going to have a big birthday party. We'll play the happy birthday video. 71 guys. Yeah, I know it's not as old as Forrest, but I'm going to treat us to a bottle of Malbec. What do you think? A little cheers. All right. So join us. You'll see the Tipsy Gypsies on Friday night.
So be there.
And I know we have a ton of phone calls, and we're going to, like I said, we're going to continue our conversations with Traci. I think she's an important asset to the chase, and I think she got a little taste of the treasure hunt, and I think it intrigues her. She's a sharp lady. Yeah. So, and we'll show you our treasure chest. We have the treasure chest that we're starting to fill up.
Money 618 says I will email you after the show.
Okay, thank you, Monty. We got your present here, and we'll ship that out this weekend.
Winner, chicken dinner.
And Alan K, I guess, has sent us.
He knows he won.
So both winners. So we've got some great prizes next week as well. So thanks for joining us tonight. So I have to play the promo for.
I did that.
Oh, you did?
Look
at you. Technical director.
Might as well take care of it.
Technical director Shelley,
That's right.
All right. So let's go to there. We didn't get to do much dancing tonight, did we?
You didn't dance. I danced. Can I read the Thrill of the Chase book out loud? Some people have asked me to read that.
You start pushing.
Might be able to do a little bit of it in the VIP vault, but
so we're not doing it all. Book. We don't read the book in the VIP vault. We summarize the chapters and then we comment on that.
If you want, just go to our book club
videos.
Yeah, and I do read. Well, actually, Toby reads the book.
Yeah, I read the book and you make the commentary.
Join the member vault because I read in there.
You guys need to switch chairs on Friday.
But then I would be sitting where his name is.
Yeah, we can't because we have our names on the right side. So yeah, compliments to Shelley for putting up with me. Oh, by the way, I will be I've decided to go to the World Series of Fenn. So for you guys that are going there, we'll see you there.
Not
and of
me,
course,
just him.
If we don't see, she's not going. And if not, we'll see you at Fenbury because we'll be at Fenbury as well.
That's right.
Did you say your good nights?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate you. We hope to see you again Friday night for Toby's birthday. Thanks for all your great questions and comments in the chat room. And for Gypsy Kiss, I'm the Magical Treasure Princess, life coach to the rich and famous, Shelley Carney.
What is that? What is that? How did we get that little twist in there? Oh, we don't have the thing on it.
Yeah, different. Screen.
And I'm just Toby Younis, and I had a great time tonight. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we experienced early on. I'm glad we got them corrected, and I'm glad we had that great conversation with Traci. It worked out very, very nicely. Good night, you guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Friday.